Hi everyone, this is Lovelin Johnson, and today we're going to be looking at the 15 invaluable laws of growth. And the law we are going to be talking about is the law of design. What is the law of design? The law of design states that to maximize growth, develop strategies. Life is not a dress rehearsal. We cannot have a rehearsal night and then do it all over again and get it right the next time. Everything has to happen well right away. So, what could you do? I often think of this quote by John. He often says that people are either preparing or repairing. So, if you think about it, when you're preparing, you're thinking about the future, you're planning things for the future. But if you are spending time repairing, you're living in the past, you're going back to the past and fixing things of your past. And that's much harder than planning and preparing. So, how do we design our lives? So, we could plan it well. We can learn from other people and then do things differently. So, our life design is airtight. It has got a good plan in place, and we come out on the other side with less regrets. There was a study conducted for executives who were very successful, who were 70 and above. The researchers asked them if they were to go back and live their lives one more time, what are the things that they would do differently? You know what most of them said? It fell into 8 categories: that they would have invested more in their personal development, that they would have spent more time with their family, that they would have had more fun, that they would have managed their finances better, that they would have invested in their health, that they had taken care of their life early on instead of doing it quite later in life, that they would have managed their career in a much more effective way, and then they would have served others, they would have given back to the society that they were in. So if you think about these regrets, now that we know these executives and the regrets that they had, we could now design our life where we focus on these areas so we don't come back on the other side regretting like them. What are the things that we could do? One of the quotes that I really appreciate by Jim Rohn, it states that if you don't design your life plan, chances are that you will fall into someone else's life plan. And guess what they may have planned for you? Not much. Think about that. When you don't plan your lives, when you are not in control of your own life, other people's agenda becomes your own, and they are not concerned about your plan because you should have control over your plan. And so you are constantly drifting towards the plan of others. And one thing I want you to remember is when you have a life plan, it's going to take time to build. What are you building? Because if you are building a squash vine, that's what your goal is, to have a squash vine, of course it is going to yield a fruit very soon and you can harvest it. And when the first frost comes, it's gone. But if you are building an oak tree, it will stand the test of time. A storm would come and it would still be there. And guess what? It's going to give such great shade for the people around, and it's going to be strong and it will outlive you. That's the legacy that you plan to build. So, how could you build that? You need systems in place and you need good strategies. We're going to talk about the 6 elements of breakthrough systems. We're going to talk about the big picture, prioritization, measurement, application, organization, and consistency. Number 1, the big picture. Think about someone giving you puzzle pieces, but you don't have the box cover. What would you do? You wouldn't know what to do with the puzzle pieces because you have no clarity on how to arrange them because you don't have a box cover to go with it. So think about your life as this box cover. What is that visual that you want for yourself, and how would you look back on that visual? And remember, this is not set in stone. You can always change your box cover. You could expand it. You can give more clarity to it, but you need that box cover for yourself so that you know which direction you're heading and you have clarity towards it. And another thing I would encourage is the more you grow, the more your box cover is going to expand. and you're going to bring more people into the equation, and you're going to have a richer and better life. So I would encourage you to think about the big picture first before you dive into the other things. The second thing that you have to focus on is your priorities. What's the number one thing you need to do? What is the thing that will give you the highest return and the highest reward? Focus on those things. Don't focus on the trivial and spend all your time in it. Focus on the most important thing and do it during your prime time. So it's not only that you need to know what your prime work is, you should also know what your prime time is. Some people are morning people and they get their best work done during morning time. Some are evening folks and they like to do their best work during evening. So you would be the best judge of it. And based on your energy level during the day, allot your best work during your best time. In that way, you could maximize your work and you could come out on the other side extremely productive. The third thing you would do is measurement. Think about you go to this car rental and they give you this fancy car. But they say the car doesn't have a dashboard. You don't have a fuel gauge. You don't have a speedometer. Would you take that car? No, because there is no measurement. The road sign is going to say 100 kilometers. Now you have to make a guesswork of what 100 kilometers is. Or it would say 30 kilometers and now you have to slow down. And you will not be able to follow the rules of the road when you don't have a speedometer or even a fuel gauge. How often are you going to fill the gas in the gas tank? Because you don't know how close you are to empty. And it would just cause you more tension and pressure. So you need measurement. Measurement is your dashboard. So you need to know, I want to focus on fitness and this is what I'm going to give it. And honor it and look at it during the course of the month and see how you're doing in fitness. If finances is something that you're working on, focus on it, but make sure that you measure it, because the things that get measured are the things that gets done. So measurement is the next key for having an effective system for life design. The next thing is application. You have decided, I'm going to focus on my career. I'm going to get into this career path. You know you have to learn certain things. You have to train yourself for certain things. So what is the thing that you plan to do in order to get to a place where you want to get in your career journey? And invest in those things. For me, it's communication, it's leadership, it's personal growth. And those are the things that I'm constantly focusing on a regular basis in order for me to grow in those areas. And what do? You learn in those areas, and then you also apply the things that you learned in those areas. So application is where the rubber meets the road. So you have this great life plan and you're learning things for your growth. But if you learn and don't do, then there is no point. But if you learn and do the things that you have learned, then your growth explodes. I would encourage you to think about it in application point of view and right away invest in applying the things that you have learned, so then you get the maximum impact from it. The next thing is organize the materials that you're collecting, be well organized. The last key is consistency. What do you do daily on a regular basis? The secret of your success is found in your daily agenda. It's not the work that you do occasionally that would get you to success. It's the work that you do consistently towards your personal growth that would get you to success. The secret of your success is found in your daily agenda. What does your daily agenda look like? What's one thing you're going to add to your daily agenda so your life is designed in a way that you can look back one day and not have many regrets? Your goal is to design a life where you are managing the key areas of your life in a beautiful way. In that way, you are designing it, you're planning it, you're not looking back and repairing it, you're preparing and you're executing it to the best of your ability. So the law of design states that to maximize growth, develop strategies. So think about the 6 strategies that we have learned on the big picture. Do you know where you want to go? And don't worry about it. You could keep expanding and you can have more clarity as time goes by, but you need the big picture. Do you know to prioritize the work that you want to do so that you will have maximum impact? And also, would you give your prime time for your prime work, because that's when impact happens. The next one is measurement. What gets measured gets done. If you don't measure, you don't know how far you have gone, and that's not going to give you any clarity and motivation to get going in that path. So keep measuring the things that you want to grow on. The fourth principle is application. If you have decided that you want to grow in a particular area, keep learning, but right away do it. My mentor in Maxwell often says, learn a little, do a little. So there's no point in just learning without doing. So learn a little and do a little. Then organize the materials in a way that you could get at it anytime. And the last one is consistency. Do daily, work on it daily. The important things that you want to do, you have to do it on a daily basis, because the secret of your success is found in your daily agenda. Take time to design your life. I hope you found this lesson helpful. Next week, we will be looking at the law of pain. I hope to see you there.